Hey playa, if you've been texting your crush for a while and you feel like the conversation has just kind of taken a dip to the point where they don't even respond anymore, chances are you've been texting them way too much. The good news is there is a way to fix this situation where you can start talking to them again. What I want you to do first here is to stop sending them direct messages. Take a step back from the inbox and instead focus on commenting on the pictures and stories that they post. Whenever you interact with something that they share, make sure to ask an interesting question that's related to the post. Chances are they're going to respond to it because it's on a public platform. If you were to send them that same question through DM, they'd probably read it and ignore it. But because it's public and live on their post, there's a higher chance they're actually going to say something. And that's just the first tip I wanted to share. Before I get into the rest of them, I really want to take a deep dive into the texting curve. You need to ask yourself, where did you mess up along the way with your crush? When did you start texting them too much and stop focusing on taking things to the next level? If you take a look at this chart, you'll see that as you're getting to know them, you're also teasing and flirting, and this is eventually leading you up to asking them out. The problem is, people just stay in this text phase where they have conversation after conversation after conversation, and it doesn't lead to anything materializing in the real world. So, where you end up is them giving up on waiting. They feel like you're just a texting buddy. You might be getting one-word answers, then they start leaving you on read, and then all of a sudden, poof, they just stop responding altogether. If this is where you are, it's important to follow the rest of the tips that I'm going to share. The second thing you're going to want to start doing is talking to them more in person. Like I said, if you're taking these steps back from texting them, need to return to more natural forms of conversation that's going to actually get them to start thinking about you more and feeling more comfortable interacting with you. Talking to someone in person carries so much more weight than just texting them. When you're texting, your hi or hello is no different from anyone else's. Anyone else can say the exact same thing. But when you approach them in person, they can see your body language, they can see your physical presence, they can hear the tone of your voice, they can make eye contact with you. There's a lot more to work with. Now, if you've never talked to your crush in person because you're just too nervous or worried about doing it, this is your chance to put your confidence on display, to step outside of your comfort zone and to show your crush, to give them a reason why they should start communicating with you again. Because let's face it, if you were to start texting with your crush again normally, at some point you would have to ask them out, which would mean some kind of face-to-face interaction. And you don't want your first face-to-face interaction to be when you guys are on your first date. You want to work on building something up beforehand so that both of you feel comfortable in that moment. Alright, there she is. This is my chance to shine, to really show her who I am, to let her see the confident guy that I'll just text her instead. Hey? I'm right here. Why don't you just come over and talk to me? The third tip you're going to want to follow here, if you've texted your crush so much to the point where they've just stopped responding and it's flatlined, the conversation is dead, is to start working on your texting game with other people. It's not always the case that the conversation naturally just got boring over time. Sometimes you just overwhelm your crush by texting them way too much. That's why I recommend practicing talking to other people. This is going to allow you to get into the habit of starting conversations, coming up with interesting topics, and regulating how much you text that person. If you're practicing with someone else, you can even ask them, hey, do you feel like I text you too much? Do you feel like I should text you more? Do you feel like the things I text you are interesting? Getting that other person's perspective is going to help you prepare for better conversations with your crush. And the good part about practicing having better text conversations is that you can literally do it with anyone. Start doing it more with your best friends. Start doing it more with people in your class that you want to get to know better. The key here is to really get to the point where you feel like you can have interesting, engaging, and exciting conversations that lead to something. What if I write, hey? Don't send that. What if I say, what's up? Negative, that ain't gonna work. What if I say, how are you? Yeah, that's just not gonna get a response from me. Okay. What if I just say, hey, did you check out the new Falcon and Winter Soldier episode? You see, your problem, actually, that's pretty good. I did check it out. We can actually talk about that. And if you're looking for conversation prompts that you could start practicing with, I would recommend checking out my 20 Icebreaker Conversation Starters Guide. This is a free guide I've put together which breaks down different conversation topics you can use, follow-up questions you can ask, and alternative ways you can phrase the question to really get more out of that conversation. I'm going to link it up at the end of this video and in the description below, so definitely check it out. The fourth tip I want to share with you is super important. You might feel the deep desire to want to apologize to your crush if you've texted them too much, or the conversation has fallen apart, or they've just gotten bored. But don't fall into that trap. When you apologize to someone with the intention that it's going to help things blow over so that they start talking to you again after you've texted them so much and they've gotten so annoyed that they told you to leave them alone, you're doing it for you, not for them. When a person tells you to leave them alone online, to stop DMing them, to stop commenting on their pictures, they may even go as far as to block you or to tell you off, it's best for you to listen to them. I know you might feel drawn to the idea of the apology, and that might even lead you to create a new account just to message them and explain what happened, or to start messaging their friends to get the word back to them. But give them space. Space is the best thing you can do to kind of clear things up, to allow them to process what they're going through, and to try again later in the future. You're just not going to win by bombarding them with new messages, trying to explain your old behavior and old messages. Instead, allow them to just kind of passively observe how you're growing and changing in life. Maybe when you message them, you said something really immature or disrespectful, or something that you just wish you could take back and wish, oh my God, you just didn't say it at all. What you gonna do with all that junk? What? All that junk inside that trunk. Creep, block. No, it's a song. I was just texting lyrics from a song. No matter how you got to the situation you're in, it sucks to not be able to text your crush and have conversations with them. Whether you've been blocked or ghosted or ignored by them, or you feel like you just hit that tipping point on the texting curve and things just aren't really working out between you two. There are small steps you can take to repair that, to really rebuild and work on what you've done so far with them, and to better your conversation skills. I want you to take the steps that I shared in this video and start putting them into practice. On that note, I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.